Good morning to all. Myself, Professor T.M. Divakar, working as Assistant Professor in Department of Electronics and Telecommunication Engineering in Sharad Institute of Technology, College of Engineering, Ichakanji. So today we are going to see human rights and student movement in India. So in today's lecture, we are going to cover some introduction about the human rights student movements in India, historical development of human rights, what are the human rights in different places, what are the students movement in India, summaries. So let us see one by one. So what is human rights? In the first lecture, we already know that the definition of human rights, and there are different definitions made by different philosophers. So there is no any particular definitions, or we cannot define the human rights as a particular. So the basic rights that are given to all human beings are called as human rights. And human rights demand recognition and respect for inherent dignity to ensure that everyone is protected against abuses which undermine their dignity. Means what? So all human, there are basic rights, and they demand the recognition and respect for inherent dignities. Means everyone should get protected against the abuses which undetermine their dignities. So human rights belongs to everyone, everywhere, regardless of nationality as well as sexuality, genders, race, religion or age are the same. Means rights to men or women is same in everywhere. In sexuality, that is the example. Also in religion there is no, or in age there is no different rights for different religions. Means for Jain, Christian, Hindu, Parsi, Muslim, for all religions they have equal rights, and it is the same rights for age also, in race also. So all human beings are born with equal and inalienable rights and fundamental freedoms. Means human rights with the referral to Indian Constitution, and Indian Constitution sets out fundamental rights, directive principles and duties of citizens. So in our Constitution, or in our Indian Constitution, there are a set of fundamental rights, there are a set of directive principles, and there are fundamental duties of every citizen or every human being. So human rights includes civil and political rights also, and the foundation of the modern human rights is the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, that is UDHR. Next, what are the historical development of human rights? So human right is a concept that has been constantly evolving throughout the human histories. They have been tied to laws, customs and religion throughout the ages. Means all rights, it is limited, or it is bonding with the laws, customs, religions. means the Hindu Vedas, the Babylonian code of Hammurabi, the Bible, the Quran, and the Analects of Confucius. Dharma law in ancient India duties is a symbol of dignity to be discharged with affirmative choice, and the individual is existed as a citizen of the state, and in that capacity he had both rights and obligations. So these rights and duties have largely been expressed in terms of duties, in terms of dharmas, means there are different rights but the way of rights is same. There are different duties but the way of duties are the same, but they have been expressed in a different dharmas. In Muslim it is expressed, the expression of all laws, rights, customs. In Quran it is expression no other way, but all rights and duties are same in all religions. During Hindu era, so according to Raja Dharma, the king was able only to enforce the laws. The Dharma Shastra did not recognize any legislative power in the king. So Kautilya disapproved the theory of royal absolutism and subordinated the king also to the law. Similarly, Shanti Parva prescribed that the king may be punished if he does not follow the path of Dharma. Later on, Buddhism and Jainism were against deteriorations of the morals, and after Buddha and Ashoka protected and secured most of the previous human rights. What is saying in Islamic era? So during this period there was a discrimination against the Hindus. One law for Muslims, another for Hindus. So there was inequality. So Akbar started new era in the Mongol history of India in the field of human rights. But Aurangzeb reversed the trend initiated by Akbar. Here the modern version of during British rule, the modern version of human rights took birth. Later freedom fighters fought for their rights, freedom and self-government. So Mahatma Gandhi launched the non-violent struggles. So Lokmanya Tilak advocated that freedom was the birthright of Indians for which they will have to fight. The proclamations of Queen Victoria contain some principles of state policies. A series of resolutions adopted by Indian National Congress between 1917 to 1919. So what are the fundamental rights? The fundamental rights are defined as the basic human rights to all the citizens. Means some fundamental rights are there for all human beings, and these rights defined in part number 3 of Constitution, irrespective of race, place of birth, religion, caste, creed or sex. Means there are rights to equality. So in article number 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, the concept will clear in article number 14 to 18. Next, right to freedom. In, sorry, in article number 19 to 22. Next, the rights against exploitation means in article number 23 to 24. The rights to freedom of religion means the article number 25 to 28. Next one, cultural and educational rights, article number 29 to 30, and rights to constitutional remedies, article number 32. In previous videos already we studied about all these fundamental rights. So what is the right to constitutional remedies? The rights to constitutional remedies empowers citizens to approach to the Supreme Court of India to seek enforcement or protection against the infringements of their fundamental rights, and it is covered in article number 32. Socrates is a philosopher. It protects the fundamental rights of India, means the Supreme Court has been empowered to issue the writs, namely habeas corpus, mandamus, prohibitions, certiorari, and quo warranto for the empowerment of the fundamental rights. That is also we studied or we explained in the previous videos. Next one, what are the human rights under the UDHR? That is Universal Declaration of Human Rights. The General Assembly proclaims this UDHR as a common standard of achievements for all peoples and all nations. We have 30 human rights according to UDHR, created by United of Nations in 1948 to provide a global understanding of how to treat individuals. So there are some articles. Article number 1 under the UDHR, all human beings are born free and equal in dignity and rights, and they are endowed with the reasons and conscience of and should act towards one another in a spirit of brotherhood. In article number 2, everyone is entitled to all the rights and freedoms set forth in these declarations without distinction of any kind, such as race, color, sex, language, religion, political or other opinions, as well as national or social origin, properties, the birth or other status. Article number 3, it is saying that everyone has the right to life, to liberty, and to security of a person. Article number 4 says that no one shall be held in slavery or servitude. Slavery and the slave trade shall be prohibited in all their forms. Article number 5 says that no one shall be subjected to torture or to cruel, inhuman or degrading treatment or punishment. Article number 6, it is saying that everyone has the right to recognize everywhere as a person before the law. Article number 7 says that all are equal before the law and are entitled without any discriminations to equal protection of the law. Article number 8 says that everyone has the right to an effective remedy by the competent national tribunals for acts violating the fundamental rights granted him by the Constitution or by the laws. Article number 9 says that no one shall be subjected to arbitrary arrest, detentions, or exile. Article number 10 says that everyone is entitled in full equality to a fair and public hearing by an independent and impartial tribunals in the determination of his rights and obligations and of any criminal charge against him. In article number 11, everyone charged with the penal offences has the right to be presumed innocent until proved guilty according to the law in a public trial at which he has had all the guarantees necessary for his defense. Article number 12, it is saying that no one shall be subjected to arbitrary interference with his privacies, with his family's home or correspondence, nor to attack upon his honor and reputations, and everyone has the right to the protection of law against such interference or attacks. In article number 13, everyone has the right to freedom of movement and residence within the borders of each state. Everyone has the right to leave any country, including his own, and to return to his country. Article number 14 says that everyone has the everyone has the right to seek and to enjoy in their countries asylum from persecutions. This right may not be invoked in the case of prosecutions genuinely arising from non-political crimes or from acts contrary to the purposes and principle of the United Nations. In article number 15, everyone has the right to the nationality and no one shall be arbitrarily deprived of his nationality nor denied the rights to change his nationality. Article number 16 says that men and women of full age without any limitations due to the race, nationality or religions have the rights to marry and to found a family. They are entitled to equal rights as to marriage, during marriage and its dissolutions. Article number 17 says that everyone has the rights to own property alone as well as in association with others. Article number 18 says that everyone has the rights to freedom of thoughts, conscience, and religions. Article number 19 says that everyone has the rights to freedom of opinion and expression. Article number 20 says that everyone has the rights to freedom of peaceful assembly and associations. Article number 21 says that everyone has the right to take a part in government of his country directly or through freely chosen representative. Article number 22 says that everyone as a member of society has to right to social security. Article number 23 says that everyone has the right to work, right to equal pay for equal work, and right to form and to join the trade unions for the protection of his interests. Article number 24 says that everyone has the rights to rest and leisures. Article number 25 says that everyone has the right to standard of living adequate for the health and well-being of himself and of his family. Article number 26 says that everyone has the right to educations. Article number 27 says that everyone has the right freely to participate in the cultural life of the community. Everyone has the right to the protection of the moral and material interests resulting from any scientific, literacy, or artistic production of which he is the author. Article number 28 says that everyone is entitled to a social and international order in which the rights and freedoms set forth in these declarations can be fully realized. Article number 29 says that everyone has duties to the community in which alone the free and the full development of his personality is possible. Article number 30 says that nothing in this declaration may be interpreted as implying for any state, group, or person any rights to engage in any activity or to perform any act which is aimed at the destruction of any of the rights and freedoms set forth. The public interest litigation means, so these are the human right protections. The public interest litigations means the litigations which is filed in a court of law for the production of public interest. There are conditions for filing PIL. There must be a public injury or public wrong caused by wrongful act. It is for the enforcement of the basic human rights of weaker sections of the community whose fundamental and constitutional rights have been infringed, and it must not be frivolous litigations by the persons having vested interests. So what are the student movement in India? Recent JV Jawaharlal Nehru University incident. On February 9, ex-members of DSU had called for a meeting and protest was the stand in solidarity with the struggle of Kashmir people for their democratic right to self-determination, to protect against the judicial killings of Afzal Guru. These are the slogan includes भारत के टुकड़े होंगे हजार एंड भारत की बर्बादी तक जंग जारी रहेगी. The JNU Students Union president was arrested. The logic is that everyone has the freedom of expression. Undoubtedly, freedom of speech and expression comes with responsibility. This agreement on judicial killing is acceptable, but anti-national slogans were against the laws. Finally, we come to the conclusion that the pursuit of human rights lies at the heart of the missions of the United Nations. Life in freedom, security, and prosperity, it underpins the hopes of millions of people for a life in freedom, security, and prosperity. The UDHR remains as relevant today as it was on the day it was adopted. In the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, the United Nations has stated in clear and simple terms the right which belongs equally to every person, and these rights belongs to you. They are your rights. Familiarize yourself with them. Help to promote and defend them for yourself as well as for your fellow human beings. Human rights has to be protected in order to maintain the human dignity, respect and recognitions, and everyone should enjoy their freedom of rights but not against the law. These are the references where we got these informations. Thank you.